Hello everyone and welcome to Bhanzu classes. So today we are going to continue with the chapter Simple Equations. But before we move ahead, I hope everybody has revised what all we had covered in the previous session. So today what are we going to talk about is more equations and its applications, right? So in the previous session we had talked about solving equations. How do we solve the equations and what is actually the solution of an equation? How do we solve the equation? One of the methods was balancing equations, right? Where we do the same operation on both the sides so that the equation is balanced. And then we had also seen how to solve that particular equation with balancing method. Today what we are going to cover is another type of method, which is transposing method, and also we are going to see how do we check the solution of an equation, whether it is right or not. And last but not the least, we are going to talk about applications of simple equations. Where all do we use in our daily life and how it can be used in different mathematical statements as well. So now let's see what happens in transposing method. So this is one of the equations which can be solved with balancing method also and transposing method also. But what happens in transposing method? How does it work? In transposing method, we move a number from one side to the other. And whenever it is moved, it's transposed, its sign is also changed. So plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, multiply becomes divide, and divide becomes multiply, because it is crossing the bridge of equals to sign, right? Which is the main thing for equation. So how does the sign change? Let's have a look at it. So minus 3, when it goes to the other side, it would become plus 3. So therefore the value of x in this particular equation is 12, which is 9 plus 3. And which number do we move from one side to other? That is the number which is with the variable, because variable needs to be isolated. It wants to be alone because we need to find the value of the variable only, right? So let's move ahead and see. Do you know that before transposing and after transposing the signs which we were checking, plus becomes minus, right? Plus 5 came to this side, it became minus 5. Minus 3 would come this side and became plus 3. Into 2 comes this side and becomes divided by 2. And over here, divided by 6 becomes multiplied by 6, because whenever the side changes, sign also changes, right? So what do we see? That plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus, multiply becomes divide, and divide becomes multiply. So this is how the signs work in transposing method, right? So moving ahead, let's think about how does an equation is solved by balancing method also and transposing also. So in 3p minus 10 is equals to 5, we add 10 to both the sides, right? We balance it. But here in transposing method, what do is, we just take minus 10 to the other side, it would become plus 10, right? Here minus 10 plus 10 would get cancelled. So 3p is equals to 15, here also 3p is equals to 15. The final answer, which is p is equals to 15 by 3 here also, and here it would be 3p by 3. 3 gets cancelled, so you get p is equals to 5. And here p is equals to 15 by 3, directly we can write, and p is equals to 5. So the final answer to it is same only. But here we just transpose the number from one side to other, making the sign opposite of it, right? So let's move ahead and see now that how do we check the solution of an equation. So if we have solved 5p minus 10 is equals to 5, we got the answer p is equals to 3. But p is equals to 3 would satisfy the equation as its solution. How? Let's have a look at it. Let's do a check on it. LHS is equals to 5p minus 10. Now we are going to substitute the value of p as 3. So we are getting the answer as 15 minus 10 for LHS, which is 5. Actually 5 is our RHS. So whenever you see that LHS is coming equal as RHS, which is left hand side is equal to right hand side, that means that particular value of the variable satisfies your equation. And there can be no other value which can satisfy your equation, that same equation for that particular variable. Right? So this is how do we check the solution of an equation once you get it. You can anyways cross check it. So moving ahead, let's solve a question over here which is 12p minus 5 is equals to 25. So what do we do over here in transposing method? First of all, we need to eliminate all the numbers with variable. So here you can see we have different numbers. So one is minus 5, other is into 12. So first of all, let's take up minus 5. So you will get 12p is equals to 25 plus 5, right? Because minus 5 when it comes to the other side, it will change its sign. So what do we get? 12p is equals to 30. Now 12 is in multiplication as I told you. So if it comes to the other side, it will come in division. So 30 by 12. Now you can see the value of p which we got has a common factor. What is that? That is 6. So if you divide it by 6, you get 5 by 2. What do you get? You get 5 by 2. So this is how we find the value of the variables, by transposing. Clear? Let's move ahead to one more equation now. Minus 2, in the bracket we have x plus 3 is equals to 8. Now minus 2 is going to come to the other side. So x plus 3 is equals to 8 by minus 2. As we know, minus cannot be in the denominator. So we will shift it in the numerator, right? So what do we get now when solving? We will get minus 3. So plus 3 is there. When it goes to the other side, it will become minus 3. Transposing. So what is the value of x which we are getting? It is x is equals to minus 7. Applying the rules of integers, right? So this is how we solve the particular equation by transposing method. So I hope everybody got a hang on it now. Keep practicing equations by transposing method and you will get it. So now how do we apply simple equations in statements? So to solve problems from practical situations, the first is form equations, right? Because if you don't have equations, how will we get the solution to that problem? How do we get the solution? By solving it with any of the methods as balancing method or transposing method. Let's have an example of it. Find a number such that 1/4 of the number is 3 more than 7. First of all, they are asking you a number which is not mentioned. So what we can do? We can assume the number as any variable. So I am assuming it as y over here. So let the unknown number be y. Its 1/4 would be y by 4. Now they are saying it is more than 7 by 3. So the equation would be y by 4 minus 7 is equals to 3. If you solve it, minus 7 goes to the other side. You get plus 7. And now you have 4 in division. So 4 in division will go to the other side and comes in multiplication. Right? So 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 into 4 is, we get the number as 40. The required number is 40. We have assumed it as y in the beginning. So whatever is the y's value would be your unknown number which is asked in the question. So always and always, first of all, form the equation out of it. Then only we will be able to solve it. Right? So we can have similar such questions for applications of simple equations. So moving ahead, let's summarize what all we had covered in today's session. We had talked about more equations which can be solved by transposing method, and also how do we check the solution, right? Whenever your value when substituted in the equation gives you LHS is equals to RHS, that means that value of the variable satisfies your equation. right? And it's the correct solution. And last but not the least, we have seen that how do we apply simple equations in our statement questions, right? First of all, form the equation, then solve the equation to get the solution of the problem out there. So till we meet next, keep practicing more questions on transposing method, on applications of simple equations, and do not forget to cross-check your answer by checking the solution of it. So keep practicing, keep exploring till we meet next, and spark your curiosity. Bye-bye.